armament in the war. Although his statement as army commander was weighty and filled with responsibility, many placed great hope in it because of the skill.
The book is also dedicated with utmost respect to all those war heroes who made enormous sacrifices all the way to safeguard the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of the motherland during the military operations. පොත පිළිගැන්වීමේදී විශේෂයෙන්ම රණවිරුවන්ට ඔවුන් රට වෙනුවෙන් කරපු විශේෂිත කැපවීම සහ ඔවුන්ගේ උදාර සේවය වෙනුවෙන් මම පොත පිළිගැන්වීමේදී ප්‍රණාමය පුද කරන්න කැමතියි. Last but not least, my dedication goes to all the citizens of my motherland for all the support they extended to us during the counter-terrorist operations, especially during Iran War 4. The book launched today is the volume 1 of the Army Commander's Promise to the Nation. I shall not leave this war behind to the next commander. As I went on writing the book, I realized that the book will go up to or even beyond 1,000 pages. Therefore, mainly for the convenience of the readers, I decided to publish the book in 2 volumes. Volume 1 covers the Eastern Province Battle of the Iran War 4 and up to the beginning of 2008, by which time all the divisions completed being inducted to the Northern Province. Still, it includes more than 560 pages, and it includes 86 maps, a lot of hard work for the last couple of years. The book goes on to 16 chapters. They cover introduction to Iran War, my association with the Iran War, occasions where bravery was recognized on me as a middle rank commander, situations where I ended up as battle casualties, assuming the command of the army, attack on me by a suicide cadre at the commander of the army, reforms to the army including the introduction of new strategies, concepts, tactics and training etc. to the battlefield and outside the battlefield by me, expansion of the army from 116,000 to 200,000 in a short period less than 3 years. Situations where I had to take unorthodox decisions, including some very harsh decisions. Then I come to Iran War 2 strategies, Iran War 4 strategies, and approach in a nutshell are as follows. To begin with, the humanitarian operation was planned to eliminate the terrorists, not to capture the land. Of course, once eliminated, the land fell into our hands. Attrition was the key to success. I was confident of winning the war, but I think nobody at the beginning in the country, including the politicians in the Security Council, ever believed that it was going to be a reality. In fact, about 95% of the army officers, they never believed that this was going to be a reality. Until such time we captured Kilnochi and turned towards east, then only I think everybody became very optimistic. Before that they were very pessimistic. LTT never thought that they would be defeated. All top military and national leaders thought that only a political settlement has to come for the LTT issue. I worked on 3 main principles. Firstly, anti-corruption and anti-abuse of public property was the priority for me. Then meritocracy. Before that, the army, we had a seniority list. Unless you really mess up, you could go up to a general rank without much difficulty. I started a selected list that was applicable to officers above the rank of major, which is being practiced in all the professional armies in the world. But Sri Lanka did not have that. I started that. Based on that, all command appointments were given in height of operation. But unfortunately, after I left, then Secretary of Defense cancelled the list. Now no more selected list in the army. Pragmatism based on past experience. These were the three principles. When I was a military I was never interested about reading about Lee Kuan Yew, where he was a politician. When I came to politics, I read the book written by Lee Kuan Yew. I was surprised. In the Lee Kuan Yew's book, he has said the three principles he followed to develop the Singapore, same principles, anti-corruption, meritocracy, and pragmatism. Those are same principles, so it is applicable not only to the military, even to those who are hoping to develop the country. These are equally applicable. I changed the strategies, concepts, tactics, and battle drills. Special infantry operation tactics made the difference. We trained all the infantrymen on a special training course of 3 months to make them the fighting machines. Then they were formed into 4-man teams. When you go to battle, you used to put about 500 4-man teams of special infantry trained officers and men into battle in a very wide front. About 250 teams operated in front. The balance 250 teams were standby as the reserve. So they made the difference in the battlefield that helped us to operate in very, very wide fronts and totally send the LTT out of balance. LTT were never used to that type of tactics. We left the roads and we control the jungles. Roads are left to the LTT. In the past it was the other way. 4 day and night, 365 days of the year, in all adverse weather conditions, all inclement weather conditions. We never gave the initiative to the enemy. We held the initiative throughout, never ceded the initiative to the enemy. Unlike in the past, we operated in multiple fronts, and the fronts are very wide. We operated in multiple fronts. Before that, we had 3 divisions at times in certain operations. We were all going in a frontage of about 800 meters to a kilometer maximum. So that made things easy for the LTT at that time. Once a week I visited Vaunia, once a week Eastern Province, once a week to Yala in the south, fortnightly to Jaffna. The risky most visit was the Vaunia visit. Every Saturday, 9 o'clock in the morning, I am leaving Colombo, returning by 4 o'clock in the evening. Same route to Vaunia. There are intelligence reports to say that the missile attacks are being planned to the helicopter by the pilots. They braved the journey. They used to take me touching the paddy fields, touching the treetops, following the contours of the canals. One of the brave pilots is sitting here, right here, at the Secretary of Defense today. My ethos did not accommodate the failures. I was very harsh on them. They never liked me. Later they came, later they were sent to arrest me. And later those failures sat on the court-martial also to send me to jail. Went against certain principles of war. Did not concentrate the whole force in one front, as I wanted to divide the enemy in the battlefield. we went into different frontages. Went against Sun Tzu by attacking the enemy's strong points. Sun Tzu said, attack the weak points of the enemy. We attacked the strong points because we wanted to have a good fight with the enemy. We wanted the enemy to come in full strength for a good battle. Then we could take a good kill. That was the intention of attacking all the strong positions, strong defenses of enemy. Again, the tradition deployed the walking wounded, about 10,000 soldiers, together with the medical staff, to fill the belly areas in the jungle when the frontline troops are moving forward. There are a lot of vacuum areas in the rear, so we had no choice. We had to push the walking wounded soldiers into the battlefield. They were willingly doing that job. They never hesitated. I kept all the divisions directly under my command. All offensive divisions were directly under my command. I never gave any written orders for 2 years and 9 months. Everything was verbal, on telephone most of the time, or otherwise through the directors and principal officers in the army headquarters. But I monitored everything, I remembered everything, I supervised everything. So nothing in writing. I sent 2,000 soldiers to Valikada prison, the public prison, just to prevent the desertion. I had no other option. That helped us and the desertion stopped. Then I promoted 2,000 sergeants and corporals to second lieutenant rank within 2 years. There was a dearth of platoon commanders in the battlefield because they were the people who were facing the bullet mostly in the front lines. Out of about 5,000 second lieutenants which were required for the army at that time, we only had about 2,000. So there was a huge vacuum, and then we promoted sergeants and corporals who were managing the platoons in most of the places within 2 years to be the platoon commanders. Some of them sacrificed their lives even before they wore the pip while they are in the white tapalot. But their morale was very high and they gave very good leadership in the front lines, and the men also, I think they liked it. Had the total cooperation of all services, the Navy, Air Force, Police and Civil Defense Force, except the cooperation of the then Navy Commander. With all the others, I had no issue. 100% cordial cooperation we had all the way. Gave intelligence reports to the Navy to destroy 7 cargo ships of LTT, except 2. Out of the 9 ships they destroyed, 7 were given by the Army. We were using the satellite phones. We could give the location up to 100-meter radius of the target, date, time, location, everything was given by us. Finally, long-awaited victory over 3-decade war became a reality due to the commitment and dedication of all officers and men, including training, admin, and logistics staff, and credit goes to them. We were having 16,000 people undergoing training at any given time. The men, in addition to that 300 officers, the direct enlisted commandos and special forces and all that. So controlling 16,000 trainees was not an easy job, very responsible job. The man who was handling it is also seated here, who was my director training at that time. Deputy Minister Defense, was a brigadier in Army Headquarters, handling training as the director training at that time. That was a colossal job. Casualties under my command, Army lost 5,200 men killed in action, and 3,000 permanently disabled, and 19,000 wounded in action during these 3 years of war. And from the enemy side, the terrorist side, 23,000 killed and 12,000 taken prisoners 100% credit over the war victory should go to the war heroes, but not to the decadent politicians who are claiming for credit and trying to show that they are the people who won the war. There's big demand from Israel now to, I think, introduce Sri Lankan tactics. So the politicians who commanded the war maybe have to come to Israel one of these days to train the Israel military. Final obliteration of the terrorist movement LTT was the result of extreme courage, grit, undaunted determination, resilience, innovation, resolute, willpower and self-confidence of the men in front lines and the excellent leadership given by the officers at all levels. Finally, the victory which was thought to be impossible was achieved by us. And motherland was liberated from the clutches of the dastardly terrorists. The military who changed course from apathy to resolute saved the country for the future generation. To wind up, I extend my appreciation to the Deputy Minister of Defense and Secretary to the Defense Ministry for gracing this occasion and making all the facilities available to me to make this event a success. Thank you very much. My gratitude goes to the Commander of the Army. If not for his support, this event wouldn't have been a success. My credit goes to all principal staff officers and directors of Army Headquarters who went out of the way to ensure that this event was a success. I also want to extend a special thanks to the staff of the Defence College for the cooperation extended. Last but not least, the Army Band deserves a bouquet for the beautiful performance we saw on the stage today. At the end, a big thank extended with due respect to the Sarasavi Press, to the chairman and also to Mr. Sripali for an excellent job done. And to all those who edited the book and to all of you for being here, make yourselves presence here, which made me elated this evening. I wish to make a special mention about the presence of the Navy Commander, the Air Force Commander, and ex-Army Chiefs and my batchmates. Thank you for your presence here. And I also wish to extend my gratitude to the diplomatic corps, the defense attaches who are here representing their respective embassies. Thank you very much for your presence. At the beginning of 2008, I happened to address a group of media heads, and I told them during the address that I shall not leave the war behind to the next commander. They applauded. Next day, all types of medias took it to the nation in headlines as a solemn and intransigent promise given by the Army Commander. I am proud and humble that I kept to my words. That promise implies the name of the book. Thank you very much for gracing this occasion and devoting the time for me to make this event a success. Thank you very much to all of you. හමුදාවේ සියලුම නිලයන්ට මගේ ස්තුතිය පිරිනමන්න ඕනේ. හමුදා තුනෙන්ම මෙතනට අවිල්ලා ඉන්නවා. මේ අවස්ථාව සාරවත් සාර්ථක කිරීමට සියලු දෙනාට මගේ ස්තුතිය. සියලු දෙනාටම ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනා කරනවා. කුඩා තේපැන් සංග්‍රහයක් තියෙනවා. සියලුම events තව මම හිතන්නේ event දෙකක් විතර තියෙනවා. ඒවා ඉවරනයින් පස්සේ තමුන්නාන්සලා කරුණාවෙන් ආරාධනා කරන තේපැන් සංග්‍රහයට. Thank you very much.
Next, my invitation goes to the Secretary to the Ministry of Now I invite ladies and gentlemen, now I invite ladies and gentlemen,
අමතනපති ජාතිය දුන් පොරොන්දුව කෘතියේ